Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Rublitz, and today we are talking about adding that little something extra to our me-made underwear. So happy that you could join me today. Today we are talking about adding lace cutouts to our underwear. Now, you can use any underwear pattern that you want. I'm using the Noel underwear, which is the free underwear pattern from Madeline Intimates and Lingerie. I will link this below in case you want to check it out. I also have a video about drafting your own underwear pattern from your most favorite comfy pair that you've already got. I will link that above. So you could really use this with any pattern. The important thing is that you need fabric that's not going to fray. Okay, so before we really get into doing these lace cutouts, let's talk a little bit about lace. All right, so one of the pairs, I'm going to do two pair of underwear today. One of the pairs that I'm going to do, I would like to do a fairly large lace panel on the front. Now, it's really important to pay attention to where your dogs are, which is the direction of greatest stretch. So in this lace, there's like almost nothing that way, and this is where I've got all my stretch. Unfortunately, I would have preferred to use it this way because this is the direction that my hips are going to go. So this is the direction of greatest stretch. Now, if I were able to, I would like to do sort of like a sort of triangle pattern at the front of my underwear. And it would have been great if I could have utilized the scallop edge. And then I would have probably done a seam down the middle to kind of like make it that sort of shape, and that would have been super cute. Because it doesn't have the stretch that way, I'm going to have to put it this way. I'll probably still do a similar shape, but I'm going to use some other kind of trim on the sides to just sort of traverse that edge where it goes between lace and my base fabric, okay? Similar story here. I'm not going to use this one today because I feel like the way I would have to use it would be such a waste. It would be so pretty to put this across a pair of underwear, but there is like no stretch that way. All my stretch is this way, and there's not even that much stretch that way. So sometimes, as pretty as a lace is going to be, it's not going to be the best for your garment. Now, you know what? I think I'm just going to take my pattern piece and put it down so that this is easier for you to see. Now, what I look for when I'm going to put lace accents on my underwear is a lace that's going to lay nice and flat, because I'm going to be putting this underneath garments, and you know, if you have anything with any bulk or any ruffling, especially under something like a yoga pant or a pencil skirt, you're gonna see it from a mile away. Not that those laces are bad to use, you know, like something like this, it's super cute. It's got that really fine line, it's got that nice little ruffle, or even something like this that has multiple ruffles added to it. Yeah, you could do some super cute stuff with that. But I would say these would be for a garment that's like the main event, not really intended to have anything worn over top of it. I'm making underwear for everyday use, so this is the kind of thing that I'm going to stick with. Now, if I were going to use this on my top waistband, there's one adjustment I would do to it, and I have this left over from some underwear that I made a while ago. I've taken a 1/4 inch elastic and I've just zigzagged that to one side of the underwear garment. So if this is my, let's say this pattern is my underwear garment, I would attach that so that the lace is the edge farthest away from the rest of the garment, and that's just going to help hold that lace in place. You can absolutely do it without, but you know, I find then that, you know, sometimes it'll bunch down or it'll start to roll, and just having that elastic on the edge of your trim just really helps hold it tight to your body and keeps everything where it's supposed to be without shifting on you. All right, so I folded both the front panel of underwear and my lace panel in half, and I'm just taking my straight edge and I'm going from the top corner of the lace to where the lace will run into the gusset of the underwear. Now I can just lay my lace right on top of the front panel. Now I feel like I need just something to sort of finish up those edges a little bit. So I'm just going to use this lace trim. I'm just going to pin it all together at the same time so that I only have to sew that line once and it will catch the lace panel as well as the lace trim. Now it's time to put the rest of the underwear together. I just find it's easier to do the details on the front without the entire garment put together, but you do whatever works for you. So I'm layering right sides together, my front and back underwear panels, and then I'm going to put the jersey gusset on top. And then that way when I fold everything back the right way around, the gusset will be covering up the seam that it's sewn together with. Now I'm going to stitch that out. And here it is once it's been stitched. You can see that the seam is going to be completely covered, so you're not going to have anything rubbing against you or uncomfortable in any way. Now I'm just going to pin that out and I'm going to sew along the edge just to keep the gusset where I want it. And then I won't have to worry about it when I'm pinning on my leg trim. There we go. I've just sewn right as close to the edge as I could get on that. And now the same trim that I used on the edges of my front panel, I'm going to put that same trim all around the leg opening. And I'm going to use a zigzag to stitch that as well. So as you can see, there's still fabric behind our lace panel and we wanted that to be a cutout. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to very carefully just cut on the inside of the seam, just the base fabric. If you want, there are like special scissors that have a really blunt edge on the bottom that are extra safe. They won't accidentally cut into your lace, but I just don't have any of those. So I'm using my regular scissors and I'm just taking my time and going nice and slow. The cutout is all done. Now I'm just going to trim any like little bits of lace around the edges, and then I will put my waistband on. Now this is some of that 1.5 inch lace elastic that I was showing you with the added on elastic band at the very top. And I'm just going to pin this on and I'm going to use the same zigzag stitch to secure that as well. Now here we are, my waistband is all on and I've got my sides pinned with the garment inside out. Now I'm just going to sew down those sides and we'll be all done. There we go. All right, on this pair, I'm just going to use the lace trim instead of doing a large panel. The small pieces, I'm going to leave my base fabric behind it, and the large pieces, I'm going to do a cutout behind. Oh, and there's an elephant for me. So very much the same process. I'm just going to pin down all of my lace, sew the sides with a zigzag, or if you have a different stretch stitch that you prefer, you could absolutely use that here. Now here I am, I'm just cutting out my cutouts for the 1.5 inch lace strips. And now I'm going to put the rest of the garment together. Now I'm not spending a whole bunch of time talking about the pattern or the construction of the underwear because this video is more about the technique of adding the lace. And again, you could really do this to any underwear pattern that you have. Now I'm going to trim out the legs and the waistband with picot or picket elastic, depending on where you're from. And I'm making sure that the picots are laying on the right side of the fabric, facing in to the garment. And I'm going to sew that with a zigzag stitch as close to the picot edge as I can, as close to the little loops. Even if you feel like you're just going over the edge a little bit, as long as you're not totally covering the picots, then you're probably okay. All right, here we go. So that is all stitched on. Now I'm going to take that elastic and I'm going to turn it so that the only thing that you should see on the outside of the garment is the little row of picots sticking out. They're peeking out. That's why I call it picot. There we go. The trim is all done. Now I just have to sew my edges together and my garment will be complete. And there we are, all finished. I'm really happy with how these all turned out. It's a really simple thing, and you know what, this is a really great use of if you've got like little bits of lace scraps or something in your stash and you're not really sure what to do with them. This is a great way to use those little bits of precious fabric up. There's just something really nice about wearing pretty underwear. I really hope that was helpful for you. I sure had fun today. I love making things that are cute, and after, you know, years back being a costumer, Adding embellishment and lace and stuff to things, that's like my joy. It's not like my comfort zone in my outer clothes, but I love making things that are cute and just adding that little extra something. It's fun, so why not do it? Do all the things, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.